Greetings, you viewers from across the globe. You're welcome to the show right here on Veegil Media. I'm your host, Odiawa AI. With me on the show, we've got Temitope Williams and Favor. We will be talking about extensively on unemployment, its navigation, and its dynamics as it affects the nation Nigeria. Temitope, what do you have to say about unemployment?
Yeah, unemployment currently is a very big challenge in Nigeria because we have a lot of youth and graduates who comes out with first class, and at the end of everything they don't even have a job. They go about to search for jobs everywhere and they can't even get a proper job. For instance, a first class graduate selling puff puff on the road, like it doesn't make any good sense. And we have a nation called Nigeria where the country itself cannot even provide a job for their own citizen. So that's just my view about unemployment.
What about you, Favor?
I think unemployment has been a big issue over time, but of recent it is like more intriguing because things are getting costly, the standard of living is getting high, and the cost of living as well. But people are getting underpaid. Most Nigerians are underemployed. Not that they're not employed, but they are living below what is expected of them.
Well, you've heard it from Temitope Williams and Favor. In my own view and my own opinion, unemployment actually is a disease when people are not armed or equipped or their hands are not furnished with gainful employment. It becomes, as they say, devil's workshop. And once it's a devil's workshop, there's that tendency for people to begin to indulge in all sorts of vices, ill vices, I mean. And when those ill vices begin to raise their ugly head, it destabilizes the polity. And if it's a democratic setting where it destabilizes the polity, there's a sense of anarchy actually setting in gradually. So, how does unemployment or how will unemployment be addressed in a democratic setting? Is with these points here outlined, which we'll be deliberating on in this show earlier on or later on, rather.
Greetings, viewers from across the globe. You're welcome to the show Viewpoint.
Moving on. With these few points here, we'll be talking about high population growth rates, urbanization, healthcare and education challenges, environmental impact, demographic dividend, policy and governance, and regional disparities. So, Temitope and Favor, what is your take on high population growth rate as it affects unemployment?
Yeah, high population growth rates. In Nigeria currently, we are one of the highest population growth rates. And every year, if I'm not mistaken, universities provide at least more than a million students every year from different schools. And when we have a job of, let's say, we have jobs of just 15 people, and we have 1 million students, the rate at which people would employ for them would look for that job is very, 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 very high. And high population rate is also affecting unemployment because in some families we have like 12, 15 children, and the family cannot even provide a job for them, and it's really, really affecting unemployment in Nigeria.
Will it not be right to even say that because the system is failing or has failed, the right instruments are not even there for the parents to
Yeah.
even take care of those
Those
children.
children.
And when they even come out as graduates, they are not really equipped
So,
to get those rights or gainful employment which they ought to like get. It's now another question is with this high population growth rate now, let's say out of 10 students, seven gain admission. Out of that seven, only five graduate.
yes.
And those five now are not adequately equipped to even get that job. Now, what instruments now are we going to like make sure that okay, once they get this job, what are those things to make sure we educate them on to put those things in check?
Okay, I think I'll come into this. The problem about Nigeria coming to education is that they make provision of admissions that they don't have work for, jobs for outside there. When we were in school, there are some courses that you make mention of, and somebody will say,
Where would
it
you
would
get
have
the
been
job
a
from?
good course
Yeah.
if you were in the UK. It would have been a good
Yes.
course. So why is it in Nigeria?
When it's not a good
If you
course in
know you don't
Nigeria,
have like somewhere to fix those people, it's better
you
you
don't even
scrape
create
it.
it.
Don't provide that admission for them because you see students in the department they are up to 1,000
Yes.
and they are there 4 to 5 years. And when they are out there, there is no office, there's no organization, there's no industry to accept those people, and they are left to the streets. Some will just go and find something else doing aside what they have studied in school.
So now what you said now, Favor, it will now take us to policy and governance. Will we now say that we should also now blame the government now for
Yeah.
not actually implementing the right policy to accommodate prospective graduates? Why? Because it's the notion is okay, you're going to write jam. Okay, now it's no longer jam now, they call it UTME.
Yes,
They have their CBT centers.
yes.
Out of 100 people, 80 gain admission.
That's a
And when that 80 gains admission, 60 only make the admissions list.
Okay.
Yes.
Then out of that 60, only 40
be able to pay the school first.
get into school.
Yes.
Out of that 40, let's say only 30 will be able to graduate. And out of that 30, only 10 will have 2-1 of first class.
Yeah.
Now, this policy now, as it affects unemployment now, you graduate with a third class or pass, definitely you cannot be employed unless maybe you school for a professional course.
Yeah.
Now, upon coming out with a good degree, how can you defend that certificate? Why? Because you are only good when it comes to your hands, but intellectually you are not that good. So these policies now which government now should adopt now, will it be right now to churn out or establish technical schools, not just universities alone,
Yeah.
to accommodate those like the vulcanizers, the carpenters,
Yes.
who are like good at handiwork?
Yes.
So what policies now will it be right for you to say, and if you can defend that, why they should set up those technical schools?
Okay, I have people I know like they studied engineering, studied computer studies, but if in practice, if you should say, do this for me in the computer, they don't know because it was just theory. And companies don't need
Theory.
theory,
Yeah.
they need you to practice. So that's where the government comes in to provide vocational studies, where these people they don't only sit in a classroom and receive lectures 5 hours, 2 hours. They need to taught those things so that they will be important to the work opportunities outside there. So I think it's a very good thing if government should work on vocational studies, like technical schools, improving them the more. The polytechnics they are trying, government have made provision for that, they are trying, but I think there should be more of that coming up.
So Temitope, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I feel because when I was in 300 level, that was when I actually knew what computer science was all about. In my 100 level and 200 level, I was just thinking computer science was just pressing my laptop and not doing anything. So when I went for my IT, and then I discovered that there are a lot of things I could do, a lot of things I could learn in this course I am studying. But when we were in school, the whole idea was I just studied computer science. I have a lot of friends right now who we graduated together and they're not even in the tech world. They are just probably just doing something else because they can't even utilize what they studied in school because most of them didn't even go for the IT. Like a lot of them just find a way to just fill their logs on. So I feel that this whole thing should start from your 100 level. Okay, if you are studying computer science, let us know the reason why you are studying this course. Let us have this background of I'm studying computer science. That is why most private schools, once you enter there, they give you laptops, they give you tabs to do some things. But in Nigerian schools, we don't have that. Like you have to even struggle by yourself to get a laptop. And most parents won't even have money to buy your laptops at some point. Because I know it affected me at some point because my parents could not get me a laptop on time. So it's really a big challenge if the government can actually set up all this equipment in universities, not only polytechnic. Because I also went for my ND, and in our polytechnic we had few of this equipment, but it's not enough, because when you're having like 200 students doing practical, they'll say the first 50 to get to the lab will be the ones to do the practical. The remaining 150 has to wait. And before you finish, time has gone. Everybody will just leave there and say we are tired. But if it's a big hall where everybody can enter once, that's it. And again, when I also did my 100 level, we did CBT exams. CBT exam of 700 students. And the hall cannot even contain more than 300 students. That is exams again. And people would have to queue, wait, fight on the line just because you want to write exam. So I feel the government should take a giant step from 100 level. Let students know what they went to study. You can't just tell me that you are studying peace and resolution. Who are you giving peace to? What are you resoluting in the
In a
country?
world of conflict.
Yes. You just tell me, because I had a cousin that's telling me she's studying peace and I asked her, when you graduate, what would you do? Would you just go and be settling matter from husband and wife? Or what will you just be doing? Nothing. So why are you studying the course?
So that will now take us to our next point now, the environmental impact. Now we have we have majority of the youth now who are unemployed. If you go to the immigration
With Organization Portal, you can create an online presence for your business and manage it on the go, be it political, non-governmental, civic organization, business owner, social institutions, and so on. There's room for everyone. You can do more with Organization Portal, from adding team members to creating campaigns, posts, debates, and much more. Get started by downloading Veegil app or visit veegil.com. Veegil, increasing your socio-political influence.
centers now, you could find out that most of the people there are the youths.
Yes.
Why are they running? Why didn't they jump out? That's another question. It is because there are no jobs. And if there are no jobs, it means the industries are not there. And if these industries are not there, it's because of two reasons: environmental impact. And this environmental impact could be channeled towards insecurity and instability. Now, you don't expect a region now which is plagued with kidnapping and bombing and all sorts of threatening occurrences to now make industries to come in. And when those industries don't come, and when those industries can't come in or cannot come in, they cannot employ people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because they are not there, the unemployment will begin to increase.
Yes.
So now, what's your take on this environmental impact now? How should it be addressed as we seek redress now concerning environmental impacts? I'm talking about instability and insecurity as it affects unemployment.
Currently, because everybody knows that in Nigeria, kidnapping is something that is common. You can just be going on the road and boom, they kidnap you. Insecurity, we know Nigeria they don't secure anything, because you see, when you go and report a case in a police station, and at the end of the day, it is you that are still going to arrest. Because I had a friend who reported a case in the police station that they stole from him, and the police is saying, okay,
The accused.
you don't have any evidence, and it's telling you, see my hand, they injured me, and you can't even defend yourself in front of police officer. So I feel like, one, Nigeria has to tackle insecurity. They really have to tackle, because a lot of companies will want to come to Nigeria and say, okay, I want to establish this. But when they go and check the background check, they see, okay, on their way coming, what if they get kidnapped? Or what if anything happens? You see some places they say Boko Haram go and bomb some places. Why are they going to bomb there? So there is no company that would want to just come here and invest their money in Nigeria, because they will look at the disadvantage and the advantage also. And again, even as a Nigerian, getting a job abroad is very, very hard. Being a Nigerian alone is a stigma, because a lot of companies, when they ask you, where are you from? And you say Nigeria, you hear, I'll get back to you. And that is the end of the whole stuff.
Yes.
Nobody's going to get back to you just because you are from Nigeria. So they give the youth, they didn't give us this the way we can come out The only way you can prove yourself is that you have to prove yourself in a very, very high extent. Like you have to do something that is extraordinary before they will believe in you. And we don't have to do that because over there, I hear that kids over there, they train them from small. They try to equip them, they try to help them in every areas of their life. But in Nigeria, they are not helping us at all. When you go to school, you don't even there's some lectures that you just go for. You don't even understand. And the lecturer will be telling you just read and pass. When you are telling me to read and pass, do you expect me to come out of school and know that thing? I won't. So insecurity is a very, very big problem in Nigeria. Nigerian government should please help us solve insecurity. A lot of people are being kidnapped. A lot of people, they can't even find them anymore. Some, it's just Nigerian police that will arrest them, and boom, they have been in prison here. A lot of people are in prison here right now. A lot of youths, they don't even know, they've not even gone to the four walls of a court, and they are already in the prison here. What are they doing there? And they don't know what they are doing. They just pick you up on the road and say, where's your ID card? If you cannot give them an ID card, even though you give them ID card, Nigerian police will still challenge you. Like, what are you doing by this time of the day? Okay, sir, I'm coming from so place. They will not still believe you. You have to bribe your way out of everything in Nigeria. And everything in Nigeria right now, as a youth, if you don't have money, you can't become anything. You are just useless. You must have money. You want to go to an immigration office, for instance, now, you must have money. You must bribe for them to put your file on top.
Bribe from the gates.
Yes, from the gates to anywhere you are going to. So we really need to solve insecurity in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yes. I feel that most Nigerian youths, we lack a lot of things. Okay, if for instance, when you are growing up as a child, they teach you some things in school. When you go home and say, oh, they taught us so thing in school, your parents would caution you at some point and say, no say so things. And that is what we have been taught in school. I can remember when I was still in secondary school, we were doing reproductive system in school. They taught us some things. I got home, I was saying them. My mother said, I shouldn't say that. That is a bad word. Then I was like, that is what they just taught me in school now. Should I say, okay, I can't even say what is in my textbooks anymore, just because I'm in a kind of community whereby I can't even showcase myself. This is what is killing most of Nigerian youths. Most children wants to be, for instance, now in some Nigerian home, all their children must be a doctor. All their children must be a lawyer. Then who will not do vulcanizer? Who will do tailor?
These are the educational challenges.
Yes, who will do tailor? It is really, really affecting the whole community. Everybody wants to be a doctor. Everybody wants to do this. Everybody wants to do that. Who are not going to do those jobs?
Should we now look at it now as this educational challenge? We should also not just blame the government.
Yes, we should blame most parents. Yes.
And guardians.
Every parent wants Dr. Mrs.
Okay.
But
This title mentality.
I
want
believe
it
that's
actually.
what was reigning in their time.
Yeah, and they want to keep imposing it on
Yes,
their
and the
children.
problem is
Because when I was growing up,
yes.
my mom would say, what are you going to study? If I say, I don't know, she'll say medical doctor. I say yes. So when I went for my ND, that was when I took my step and my giant step. I told her that I cannot be a doctor. Because one, I don't like seeing blood. I don't like injection. So how do you expect a doctor who cannot see blood and who cannot
How can they
collect?
conform?
What do I want to go and do there? So she was like, okay, what do I want to become? At that point, I still don't know what I wanted to become, because I just feel like anything I like, I will become. So sometimes, the community, we should have a guideline in the community when children are already growing up. This is something I'm already trying to do within my community. When children are already growing up, you should ask them, what interests you? What do you find when you are doing it? You enjoy it mostly. It's not just I want to be an engineer. Why do you want to be an engineer? It's not just I want to be a doctor. Why do you want to go into this world? This is a different world entirely. But parents would convince their child, you must be a doctor. I had somebody who studied law. He said he studied law because of his father. He didn't study law because of himself. He dropped the certificate for his father and still go back to school to study what he interested. So you can calculate how many years he has wasted just because my daddy say I want to be. And that is what parents do. And which is not only governments that have a big problem. There was a time they did this skill acquisition in Lagos. They call it learn. Like during third term holidays, you go there, you learn this. But later they turned it into politics. That is even the good family that goes there. Poor people, when you reach there, that's when they tell you that form has finished. Because it happens to me. I got there, I even bought form, but they stole it again. That same day, I bought the form. That was the same day because I wanted to go there and learn catering. But they stole the form. I could not go. And now I even heard it like it is people that go there now are people that you know somebody. That is to learn just skill. You know somebody. And if we continue like this, how do you expect people to grow? How do you expect jobs? How do you expect anybody to have a job? And even the vocational training, how do you expect them to have it? When the little ones that poor people can actually afford, you're not making it easy for them to afford it. And this thing is a very, very big problem for unemployment.
So, Favor, could you just briefly wrap up on that point, educational challenge? Maybe you must have gotten or had an experience or encounter.
Let me take for instance, if you go outside the country, kids are they don't like they are just put in a class and the teachers want them to know what this particular kid is good at, what this nobody you don't choose anything for them. It's from what you see that you can say my son can do this, my son can do the other one. So bringing back to a Nigerian aspect, parents should understand that this is 2023 and like I said earlier, she also said then it was medicine, law, engineering. Even now, like if I should do same to my kids, I have other new courses they have to add up. If you're not studying this one, if you're not in tech, no. That's what a 2023 parent would say. Like in addition, if you're not in tech, no. But the issue of imposing courses or vocation on your children is a very bad thing. You allow them see what every child is made of. And what you should do as a parent is to help that child develop in that particular skill. And that's like, if you should go that way, the kid will be devoted and in a longer sense is going to add up to the country's benefits. And you said something about urbanization. I think the government should focus on some rural areas and build things. They are more, it's no longer about schools or health centers. They are like this, if you should build a health center, there are specified people.
So indirectly they should build specialized institutions.
Yes, they should like vocational things to fix different people there. Don't do something that, if you did not study medicine, you can't be there. If you don't have NCE, you can't be there. Do something that is versatile, that everybody can fit in. And they should look up for new things. They are like, in this 2023, more countries are investing in the digital world, in tech. Yes, and that's what youth, like, that's what they like. Even me, I'm not in science, but I love tech. And if I'm given an opportunity, I'm going to invest my time in it. So they should leave. They should just build up new things. They should look into what are people interested in right now. Let us invest in those things, especially in those rural areas that have nothing to do with urbanization.
We have some rural areas who they can't even operate a laptop.
That's true.
Like when you give them a laptop, they'll be looking at you like.
But they know how to press the phone.
But they know how to press the phone, and because the phone is something that they see often, like somebody say, "Go and charge my phone for me." You're good in sit down with it.
Another thing we should look at is this educational challenge now, taking a cue from the phone and the laptop. How well are these people sensitized when it comes to gadgets? What orientation do they have to let them know that, okay, they both perform similar functions? And once these functions are not properly explained to them, they said if you want to hide anything from a black man, put it in a book,
Yes.
which is true. Another thing we should look at now is the patience. The average black man doesn't have that patience.
So,
So you won't read the manual for the gadgets. Once they just give him the, okay, now we have the iPhone 15 now, which is out now. I'm very sure the people that looted that shop, they didn't bother reading the manual.
They don't care.
They just broke into the shop, yanked up the phones. That's the thing. So this will now take us to regional disparities. You made mention of a form which you purchased
And they stole it from me.
and they stole it from you. Why? Because the Omo Babolus
They did it
were financially endowed, needed it more than even the ones who didn't even have the resources to get it. Now, when we talk of regions here now, we're not talking about just whether northeast, west or south, or whether northwest or south. Regionalism now boils down to diverse forms. It also cuts across, maybe for instance, the rich and the poor.
Yes.
So now if it's going to be broad, if you now look at it, I'll use myself as an example now. By the time I took the army exams, I got in there. The fellow was actually carrying the handcuff to arrest people for examination malpractice. Was actually the one distributing answers. And he will ask you, who's your father?
Yes.
If your father is a bloody civilian, forget about it. But if there's a name, if there's a rank preceding the name, and it's a very common name, they will give you the answers.
Yes.
I deliberately made it sound like that so you don't come and attack me. You know who I'm talking about. So corruption also is now sowing into the unemployment, where we will now talk about job racketeering, which I will now say can be interwoven with these regional disparities. If you don't have that money, you can't get that job.
Then-
When the sole purpose of you getting that job is to put food on your table and put some money in your pocket. Now, how can this regional disparity now be addressed now? It's another topic of contention.
Yes.
Okay, I think there's an issue of nepotism when you have somebody at the top, and those people that have people at the top, they don't struggle. Like in schools, there are some people that they don't go for lectures.
Yes.
It makes them lazier than normal. Some people are, but it makes them lazier than normal. They don't struggle. They don't. Are you going to do this? I'll do it when I want. That's if they eventually do it, because they know that when I step out of the four walls of the school, I have something for me. I'm not like you. They have their levels.
Their future
They
is
have
guaranteed.
they have people that are like up there giving them assurance. Once you're here, I'll put you in this office. This office is for you. And because of that, they do anyhow they like. So the people that are more qualified or qualified for the jobs, we come out and start roaming. Why those ones that didn't put any effort and didn't make any effort at all are being fixed to those offices, and at the end of the day, they will be underperforming because they know nothing, they couldn't practice when they should and everything. That's a very big odd of nepotism. Like when you know that no matter, and once they get to that work, they behave anyhow.
Yes.
Because I cannot be sacked. My father, my uncle is the CEO.
Yes.
Once you talk to them, the next thing they
report
get
you.
home, they make a call. It's you that will be going home. So people there, you don't even correct them, you don't show them this is the way to do this. You just have to sew your mouth and get going because they're even bigger than you. So nepotism is
So it's a
very
case of
big.
you don't shut your trap jaw, you are
Yes.
placed on the floor.
Yes.
That's alright. So we've heard it from Favor at Temitope Williams. Unemployment. We have heard the dynamics affecting unemployment, from nepotism or favoritism, job racketeering, educational challenges, not only from the government angle, but also from parents and guardians. high population growth rate as it affects unemployment, healthcare, and environmental factors. These are diverse forms which can affect unemployment. And once there's unemployment plaguing the system, there won't be development, and you cannot talk about urbanization. Now, policies now need to be addressed by the government, not only from the government's angle. The influence of the government should also, through the media, get across to parents and guardians and even schools, advisory bodies, to make sure that each student or graduate in any academic institution of learning is actually armed with the right tools to make sure that when he or she gets into that labor market seeking that dream job is gainfully employed. You don't go into a job, why? Because a particular course of study has been imposed on you. You will underperform. Those are the reasons or factors affecting unemployment. When you get to look for the right job, you feel you're qualified, but you don't have the right certification. It's another bone of contention. It is on that note we draw the talk. It's on that note we draw the curtain on today's show right here on Veegil Media. I'm your host, Odiawa AI. Until next time, we'll see you when you see us. Thanks for watching.